Hello, my friends, and hello, my friends, and welcome back to Kev's Hobby Showcase. I'm, of course, Kevin. You may, of course, see me on Tabletop Jones Productions, where John and I are the two idiots playing board games. And today, I know it's been delayed, but here I am back, and we're going to do part 5 of the Davion force that I am building. So, just a little quick recap. Yes, I had put out a short saying about how I had an accident. So what happened was I was it was July 4th. I was at my sister's. I was trying to help separate frozen burger patties. I got through 4 stacks of them, got on the last 2 that had to be separated, and that's when the knife slipped and resulted in 13 stitches in my finger. But I got off easy because no ligaments. I didn't cut any ligaments. I didn't cut any tendons, and obviously I didn't cut my finger off. So yeah, give you just a brief, to let you know about that. And but it's all going good. It's all healing up nicely. I'll probably talk about it while I'm painting. So yeah. So anyway, like I said, this is the last part of the Davion Force. Obviously, let's just recap. Part 1, I did the first lance. It was called the heavy lance. I think mainly because the all the mechs were of the heavy classification. So so that's actually a force pack that can be found on Amazon. That's where I found it. Then I did a lance of tanks from another pack that I found on Amazon. Everything I find on Amazon, pretty much. Although sometimes I do find stuff in Miniature Market, and I will talk about them another time. So then the third part, I took care of the battle armor, the infantry. I did all 6 squads for it, and then I did another. Finished up because in that package of vehicles that had 8 of them, so it's 2 lances, which works out pretty good. So I finished up the other 2 tanks, because each one is like. It's like each vehicle there's like a pair of them, so it kind of works out. So that's so yes, I did that, and now this is the last one. The pack calls it a cavalry lance. I'm not sure why. I mean, I've never really understood why they had those distinctions. I think it's because of the way the mechs are. The description of the mechs I never fully understood. I'm sure there's a lot of Battletech fans out there, Battletech enthusiasts who do know the difference with those classifications. If you would like to enlighten me, I'll put it in the comments. I would love to be able to read it. I'd be very appreciative of that. But anyway, let's go forward. So first we have the Legionnaire. Okay. Next we have, if I can get it in my fingers, the Enforcer. Okay. And then we have the Gunsmith. This is a mech I've actually never seen before, so I was actually kind of excited to encounter this. And last but not least, the Hellspawn. Now this is one that I had heard about in the past, but I'd never actually seen one. So again, I was actually very excited to encounter this. Now listen, because of this, I'm not going to do the priming on camera, because I mean, the stitches don't come out until, for another couple of days. So I'm very reluctant to try to put a latex glove over this. So I'm going to basically take these 4 pieces, put it into a like a half box that I have, and just prime them in the box. Just try to get them as best I can in the box without getting primer all over my table on the back deck. So, because it's actually nice and sunny outside, so it would have been a good day to do it. But, I don't want to not have the latex glove and then get primer all over my hand, because I have no infections, and I don't intend to get any. Not that, I'm just, being very cautious, because I want to be able to go back to work. So anyway, I'm gonna get these primed, and when I come back, we're gonna start with the base coats. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and the primer on these battle mechs have now dried. It took long enough. And now I'm going to start on the base coat. Alright, so let's get this ready. And this should be interesting because, I still can't use this finger, so let's see how well it goes. Alright. Okay. Okay, well, I should have opened this up first. Well, at least the cap didn't get stuck. And you would think I would have chosen my brush already, but I didn't. Okay, let's get started. So, the middle finger on my left hand might still be out of commission. But I got 4 other fingers. And I could see that not being able to do the priming the way I usually do it, and it didn't do that great of a job. But the paint is sticking, it's adhering, it's not just immediately wiping off, so that's a good thing. Alright, yeah, so yeah, when this all happened last week, I have to say it's not how I imagined my first visit to my sister's new place to go down. But, accidents do happen. Yeah. And I do, like I said, consider myself lucky that it wasn't worse than it was. Because it very well could have been. At the very least, I think, is just I'm going to have one heck of a scar down this whole side of my finger. I actually took a picture of the stitches because I know one of my nephews was interested in seeing it, so I took a picture for him. Sent it to my brother-in-law. I don't know if he showed him yet. I do know that my that very same nephew was interested in seeing the scar, if there is one, after the stitches are taken out, which, like I said, will be in a couple of days. Yeah, I'm actually kind of interested to see what that's going to look like as well, because I know it's going to be very visible, I'm sure. Alright. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking forward to these stitches coming out, because I can see I missed quite a few spots with the priming. And of course it's mainly because I was unable to hold the piece like I normally would as I was doing it. But like I said, that the paint is going on pretty well. Alright. So I'm just going to get this as best I can. And it'll look good. I'm also at the very bottom of the bottle of this, because I got the color I'm using is olive drab, or olive green. I think technically it's olive drab, but I think on the bottle it's actually called olive green. Excuse me. And definitely need to get a new bottle of that. And I do apologize if this big bandaged finger is a distraction as I'm doing this. I'm trying to let it not be. Let's see. When I first had, when I first had it all done, with the stitches and all that, I was, I did have my finger in a splint, because I think initially, the emergency room doctor was saying to not move it, to let the to let everything heal, and to not compromise the stitches, of course. And now he had said initially, like, I only needed to have it on like a day or two, but I didn't want to take any chances. So you figure accident happened on a Friday. and it wasn't until the following Tuesday that I had an appointment with my doctor, and she pretty much confirmed that I didn't need the splint anymore. If I, she said if I felt comfortable with it not, with it not being on, and I was like, you know what, because it was actually starting to annoy the living daylights out of me, because it's like I constantly felt like, the inside, like the both fingers on the, on either side of it was getting irritated because of the splint, because I was constantly like rubbing up against it. And so it was very, I still have the splint. I didn't, leave it there at the doctor's office. But I pretty much saying, yeah, I don't need this. I was very, very grateful to not have to use that anymore. Yeah, so, yeah, it's like I said, I think I've mentioned it already. I may have mentioned it in the other video I made today. So there's no, I didn't cut through any ligaments or tendons. And obviously I didn't cut my finger off, because I think if I did that, I think I'd still be in a state of recovery. I just imagine if I did that, thank God I didn't, of course, but I imagine if I did that, if I had, because I was doing, I was trying to separate those burgers in a, like I had everything in a sink. If I had looked down into that sink and saw my finger laying there, I think I probably would have passed out. I don't know. At the very least, I would have been in some sort of shock if that had actually happened. Thank God it didn't, of course. And it's something I never actually want to have to go through. I'm sure nobody does. Only a very sadistic person would say, yeah, I wouldn't mind having a limb cut off. I don't even want to entertain that thought. Whoops. See, that's why I'm wearing the bandage. Well, also because it would look pretty nasty if I wasn't. It is 13 stitches, and thankfully, I am able to bend my finger. Honestly, even after it happened, when we were trying to get the bleeding to stop, I wasn't really, until I started putting pressure on it and trying to basically flush it out with water, that's when it hurt. Otherwise, it really didn't hurt, and I was able to bend my finger throughout that entire process. But I will say this to my sister: if you're watching, no worries. Everything's healing good. Everything is healing well. And I will always remember my first my first trip to your new house. I will always remember it. All I'm gonna do is look at that scar and go, "Oh yeah, we had a good time there, in spite of what happened." And I look forward to the next time I get to visit you. But next time, you can separate your own. You can separate your own burgers. I'm not gonna do it next time. And I'm sure she'll get a good chuckle from that. Yeah. Oh, we desperately tried to get the bleeding to stop. She's like, "You don't understand. I'll never hear the end of it." Yeah, that's all right. We'll joke about it for a while. So anyway, on to task at hand. And no pun intended. So, like I said, this is going to be the last part of this little series that I'm doing. So in regards to the Battletech game, I do have other plans for videos here on the showcase for building other forces, and some I might even call like reinforcing certain factions, because I do still have. Like I said, I've mentioned them many times before. I do still have a ton of those cards that have stats for mech warriors, and you know, I do, you know, every now and again. So now, since I found out that Ironwind Metals is up and running, that, I mean, yeah, Catalyst Labs bought it and they got it up and running. I mean, I will try to get individual battle mechs to fulfill some of these mech warriors. You know, so this way we can do some nice reinforcing. Okay, so, but I mean, I'll talk more about that in the next segment. So, but as for right now, we're going to let that base coat dry. When we come back, we're going to do the usual detailing I've been doing. I'm going to do the blue, white, and red stripes. Do gunmetal on the weapons and what looks like, you know, whatever the cockpits are. And then if the sides of the base need it, I'll do a little bit of black just to, to get it, all black. And then, of course, then we do the labels and then the wash, and then it's all finished. So, but I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself at the moment. So, for right now, I'm going to take a break and let all this paint dry, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and the paint is now dry. Now, because of the nature of everything that's going on today, I have noticed that there are some areas on the mech where the paint didn't really cover too well, but I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that as wear and tear, because, not all battle mechs are going to look pristine right off the assembly line. I mean, you're going to have, some of them are going to have been through quite a bit. So, so I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to just start on the details. All right, so let's get ready. Let's put this down. Okay. Now, I'm going to go with the gunmetal next, and then we'll do the stripes after that. All right. Put that out of the way, and let's see. Boy, I should have chose my freaking brush first, but I got a good one now. Oops. Alrighty, let's take a look here. Alright. So. This up here looks like a weapon. This here looks like the cockpit. Now let's see if there's any other very visible weaponry, and I'm not seeing any. No. Well, not all of them are going to be armed to the teeth, right? So anyway, like I was saying, for future videos where I'm painting battle mechs, I'm going to be basically looking into not only building forces but reinforcing for some of what I already have. Is like, I'll give you an example. There's a mercenary company called the Northwind Highlanders, and they were pretty much featured in the Clan Invasion box set, because they had, I mean, in the box set, it not only had basically 2 lances of battle mechs, but it also had mech warrior cards to go with it. And I was like, so when I looked through it, I mean, they are always 2-sided, and on one side, basically each side is mech warriors from different factions, and so they all had on one side of it a mech warrior from the Northwind Highlanders mercenary company. So that's how I, that's how I basically prepared it. That's how I painted them. This was before I was doing this channel, so I didn't do it on the channel. And I have seen, for sale, that there is a Northwind Highlanders lance pack, and I looked into it, and it looks like each of those mechs is not one that I already have. I think this is. I'm just going to do that. Okay. So, whoops. So I might do a video, when I acquire that, I'll do a video series covering, basically, I'll have that. I'll have some battle armor ready to go. You know, a platoon of that. I'll get a package of the vehicles. It's, you know, I'll figure out which one I want to get for that one. It's not going to be much rhyme or reason to the vehicle packs. I eventually would like to cover all the ones that are available, but I will definitely be getting all that with the premise of reinforcing you know, Northwind Highlanders. I did get a Lance pack recently for a mercenary company called Black Remnants, and much to my surprise, when I looked to see what the painting scheme was, like the color scheme on the you know, the site Camel Specs, I went to look there and they're not there. So this is something that's relatively new, or it was just never covered on that site. So for that one, I'm gonna have to, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the Mech Warrior cards and look at how they show the battle mech, and I basically did take a brief look already, and they all you know, for the on the Mech Warrior cards, they all are very similar. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use the color scheme that I'm seeing on it. So that should be all right. You know, see how that works out. Okay. All right, we're almost done with the gunmetal. So when I'm done with this one, I'm going to, I still have the rest of the ones I did for this force that I'm building, and I'm going to have a picture of all of them together at the very end of the video. And then, of course, this force that I'm building, I could add to what I've already put together for Davion, and eventually, if John and I do a large enough battle or a large enough campaign, we'll take them out, put them out on the board. You know, I don't know which one of us would be using it, but it should look pretty impressive. And something I'm going to look into, I hope the next time, I hope before the next time we that we do Battletech, I'm hoping I can find this, especially if we're going to play the classic way. I'm going to invest in terrain that I saw, but basically it's terrain for hex maps. So we'll see how that works out. I don't know if the next time we play, if we're going to do Alpha Strike or if we're going to do Classic. I don't know yet. Alright, so done with the gunmetal. Now let's get to work on the stripe. I'll do what I normally do. I'll start off with the white, and then on either side I'll do the other stripes. Now the question is where to put it. Where to put it? Alright, let me get out a... Oops. Don't want to drop anything because I really don't feel like bending over to pick things up. Alright, so you know what? It's kind of very visible right here. So we'll do that right there on the thigh. Oops. Whoa, no, we will not be dropping things. Okay, this one, the thigh is pretty thin, so we're going to go right on the side. Oops. I'm going to go right on the side. Alright, come on. Let's get some actual paint on the brush. Okay. Alright. Alright. You know, doesn't have to be incredibly large, just large enough to be seen. All right. Whoops. Thumb is sticking to that. Let's wipe off some of that here, and the rest here. All right, so that's enough. That's what we need for the white. Okay, let's get the blue in. All right, come on, there we go. All right, as you can see, I'm just adapting and adjusting as I go here. All right. Okay. The blue on the one side. Let's do a bit over. Okay. All right. All right. Oops. Keep knocking things over. So I'm trying to. It's like I'm moving as if I still have full use of all 10 of my fingers, and of course that's not the case. But very soon, all that will change, and I will be fully functional again. It's probably the best way I could describe it. All right, now this one. Now we'll do the red. Oh, goody. Cap didn't stick like it usually does. All right. All right, now, oops, that's a little too much on the brush. All right. And oops, let's not get it on anything else other than where I want it to go. All right. Now, if as I'm doing this, if you're not actually seeing me put it on, I do apologize for that. I am trying to work within the capacity that I can right now. And I will be honest, I did think about postponing the videos another week, but I really didn't want to. And honestly, I didn't really think I had to. Okay. All right. All the stripes are done. Went actually quicker than I thought it would. Now, let me let's put this away. Now, where's a good? I'm gonna take this. Now I'm gonna see if any of these sides of these bases need to be touched up with black. Because if I'm gonna do it, now's the time. All right. So let's see. A little bit here. That's about it. Oops. All right, this one. All right. I see 2 spots. A little bit here. And a little bit here. All right. Now let's see this one. Oh, this one actually is not too bad. So nothing really needed. All right, that's there. So just this one, just a little bit back here. I think I don't even need to put any more on. Oh, and voila. All right. Alrighty, we are making really good progress on this. Okay, so. Alright, so. I had it right the first time. Okay, so I'm going to let all that paint dry. So I'm going to see off camera with this how easy or hard it is going to be to put the labels on. If it's difficult, I'm just going to put them all on and not save any for on camera. If I'm not having a problem with it, I'll save one for on camera. And then, of course, then it's doing the terrain and then the wash, and then it's all finished. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. Hey, welcome back, and I ran into a little bit of a snag. It turns out that the cartridge on my label maker was out. So, but like I said, I do the labels for my benefit so that I could identify everything easily. You don't have to do it if you do it, and if you're doing it on yours. I mean, I've seen online people, always, painting up their mechs and doing all this sorts of stuff. But I don't ever see them putting up a label on it. Most people don't. I do it, like I said, because I want to be able to identify everything. So that's why I do it. But anyway, we can move on to the terrain on the base. And it just means, like I said, I'll just have to put the labels on another time. All right. It also means that the label I put on the bottom to identify the mech that it is has to stay there. Alright, so a little dab here, a little dab there. And I just got to be careful that when as I get the terrain on, that it doesn't cover sides of the base, especially the sides that I'm going to need to put the label on. Alright, and I'm also going to keep a close eye on the battery. Come down to one notch. Alright, well. Okay. So we do this, and then after this is the wash. Oops. And then it's all finished. Okay. So yeah. But I'm still gonna, do the pictures even though the labels aren't on it. I'm not gonna let that deter me. All right. Alright, it's actually going on a bit nicer than I figured it would. Alright. And I am keeping a close eye on the state of the how much charge I have left in the battery. What is going on here? Feels like I got to squeeze extra hard to get it out this time. Something tells me I may have a clog in there somewhere. Oh yeah, this hardly got anything on there. Alright. Alright, so I don't know what is going on there, but let's get rid of that. Ooh. Wow. Alright, it must have been something clogging it because a whole bunch came out. Which is a lot more than I actually wanted on just this one side of the battle mech. If I can see a glob right there, I'm going to get that off of there. Alright. Looks like at some point I may have to make a trip to Michael's to get more of these little terrain packs. So that's where I got that. I got that from Michael's. Alright. It's coming out a lot better now. It must have been a clog. Or just, probably means I gotta wipe that down better when I'm done. Oop. Oh boy. Okay, so now it went from hardly coming out to coming out and running all over the place. All right. Okay, well, just that one little area's got just a bit too much. All right, let me wipe my finger down because, like I said, I want to take no chances on that thing. All right, so that's pretty much all of them. Let me get the terrain put away. Okay. This is getting to be a bit messier than I want it to be. Not that I want it to be messy at all, but you know what I mean. Alright, let me take a look at the battery. Alright, looks like I got enough battery. You gotta be kidding me here. Okay, looks like I got enough battery to handle the wash. So let's get this done. Alright. Okay, well, it's coming out a bit better than I was expecting at first. You know, when I noticed I didn't actually get primer on everything. Alright. Ooh. And with the wash, I do try to get every inch, every little nook and cranny of the piece, because otherwise it doesn't, you know, that doesn't feel complete to me. All right. All right. It's coming along just fine. And any little speckles that get on this bandage, well, I'm going to be changing it later anyway, so I'll be getting rid of that. Okay. And last but not least, we still have battery power, yes. Okay. Alright, so the lack of the labels on this group, I mean, it's, to me, is just a pain in the ass. It's not really a devastating thing. Like I said, I only do it just for identification purposes, so I don't have to remember what every single battlemech looks like. And then in turn, what every single tank looks like, and then, you know, all that other stuff. Alright, so that's all we got. Okay, so let me get these ready to present. Alright, let's tilt this back up. And here we go. Lance of Battlemechs for House Davion, the last of the force that I'm trying to build. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to take everything. I mean, I have everything handy to grab. I'm going to take a picture of everything that I've done in this little series. Like I said, this is the last. This is part 5. This is the absolute last part. And so I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you know. I mean, if as always I say, you know, if you have built a force of your own and you want to share it in the comments, please do. I'm always I always look forward to seeing anything and anybody else did. Sometimes it inspires me. And yeah, so that's what I got for today. Hope everybody, you know, like I said before, I know I'm repeating myself, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and share this video as much as possible. Please go to Tabletop Jones and do the same. On this channel, I currently have 34 subscribers. Right now my goal is to reach 40. I try to keep it, you know, reasonable. And on Tabletop Jones, currently we have 29 subscribers. I would like to reach 35. All right, so like I said, please, like, subscribe, and share. YouTube subscription doesn't cost anything. It costs $0, so it's the best way to support the channels. All right, so thank you very much. I will see you again. Take care of yourself and have a great day.